That's right, you are now listening to Tommy Tom's One Mic. Warning, this podcast contains explicit language, triggering or sensitive topics, and controversial discussions. Thank you so much for tuning in to Tommy Tom's One Mic.
All right. As y'all can tell, this is just a work in progress. So bear with me here, folks, because sometimes the best laid plans don't always work out. But as you can see, I've got my lights better, and, I think my audio's a little better, but I will, of course, find out after. But, hey, let's start the show. Hit the intro.
Alrighty. And in 3, 2, 1. Hey guys. 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 Welcome back to Tommy Tom and One Mic. I like the guy. Good friends.
You do not feel hampered at all by what life is throwing at you.
Yeah, man, the energy from the crowd is like so much. You can see that people are happy to be out and enjoying the music.
That reminds me, not about that, but how is your sexy mom?
What was it? In the fridge?
The Keebler out with beer.
At one point in time, I lit a flare in my hands to attempt to stay warm. But
I feel you. That's why I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna be fuck it.
Let's hit the mic.
Welcome back, everybody, to Tommy Tom and One Mic. I'm, of course, Tommy Tom, and I am so happy to have you guys back here. Now, if you guys have seen, of course, episode 0 with my boy Just Cause, which is, of course, on YouTube and Spotify, please like and subscribe to that. But if you've seen those, you can clearly see I've fixed my lighting issues. I didn't realize the issues until, well, unfortunately, after I had already recorded that. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. Yeah, I wasn't going to fix it. And I even told Kaz that. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to let everyone see the progression. Now, in these first 10 episodes, trust me, there's going to be a lot that I'm going to have to go back and fix and improve upon. But I want y'all to see that process. And no episode really highlights that more than this one. Just to give you guys a little behind the scenes, and I'm sure I discussed it in the episode, this was an interview I didn't even know I was going to have. Actually, I was supposed to have this interview probably years ago, but I was in a bad place, and I just kind of canceled and walked away from it. Luckily, shout out to my boy Chris Bitt. He definitely has been a very supportive person, especially on the YouTubes, as he is the main commenter on my YouTube. With as few subscribers I have, please like and subscribe. But, Chris is a great highlight, and I was able to go in there, and we were able to talk a lot of just like growing up and just our personalities, and of course about a very special event known as Mr. Monti High. Now, I haven't been able to really talk to a lot of people. We talked, a little about how at one point I was trying to get a whole Mr. Monti High reunion together. That would have been a disaster. But I'm glad to have been able to sit there and talk with Chris, and in doing so, I figured, you know what, there's no better episode to start than this one. So even if I've recorded this after a couple of other ones that I've already done, I thought this would be the perfect showcase of exactly how I want this show to go. It's random. Sometimes the conversations, I don't even know what I'm going to be discussing with the person. Literally, this interview happened within 24 hours. He literally commented on the YouTubes, and I was like, all right, bet, let's do it. And that night, we sat down and recorded. And it was a fun time. And that's exactly what this show is going to be about. You're going to have me do interviews. Sometimes it will just be me talking to you guys like this. But hopefully you guys enjoy. I do. And like I said, you're going to see a lot of errors and a lot of editing things that I got to work on. And hey, I'm for it. I'm for the criticisms. I'm for all of it. Luckily for this one, you guys are going to get probably the best cold open so far, which I'm going to tell you, the cold opens are the toughest. If you saw episode 0 with Just Cause, clearly my lighting was shit. I've improved on that. In some of the other ones, I forgot to turn off my fan, so I'm pretty sure there's a little sound issue in probably the next 2 episodes. But I'm getting there. I'm getting there, and this is a journey, and I hope you guys join me on this journey. As you know, I don't want to be perfect off the bat. If I try and be perfect off the bat, this is going to be a long, tough journey, and I'd rather just kind of learn from the mistakes. So I hope you guys enjoy this interview and chat with Chris as we, we live our youth and our utter foolishness and stupidity, and God, many of our actions and whatnot. But it was a fun time, and there's more fun to come. So I hope you guys enjoy, and please like and subscribe. And whether you're watching this video on YouTube or on Spotify or whatever platform you are listening to this on. So I hope you guys enjoy, and let's start the interview. But
Cheers.
I'm excited to have you, Chris. You know what? Probably out of people I've grown up with and all that, you have definitely been probably one of the most supportive, because I always just see you in comments or something, especially on the YouTube. You've probably been the biggest supporter on the YouTube, so I appreciate it. And I think, so when am I going to get on? Because we were supposed to do this years ago, probably back in. You were still trying to get your real estate license, I believe, at that point. You were in the process of getting it.
It was a long process too, but well worth it. Once I got that, dude, if we had had this conversation in that process, you'd be talking to a different person for sure. Dark, angry, confused, angry. I was pissed. I couldn't do it. Down here, things are very different from New York. Same as out west. Out in Colorado, things are different too, and it's a different animal everywhere. But here especially, but once you got it, flaunt it. So I try not to, because I'm inactive currently, but still, I slap that whenever I can. Hey, by the way, boom, RE.
And where down south are you exactly right now?
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
So
see, I've gone from, all right, so my parents are in Georgia. My last interview was South Carolina, and now I'm going to North. I'm slowly moving up the East Coast.
Continental, son.
As I keep on going up. But no, it was good to reach out to you. I mean, I think originally I had this grandioso plan. It would have never worked. It would have been a fucking disaster to try and get everybody from the Mr. Monti High thing on here. It would have been awesome, but it would have been a fucking disaster just trying to operate that whole kind of scenario and just trying to schedule. I have enough problem just trying to schedule one interview with one person. I can't imagine with 8 people who some I haven't talked to since high school. So it would have been a disaster. But glad to have you, man. How are you doing, man? How are you doing?
Bro, life is like the ocean. It's constantly moving. Sometimes you run into big islands of plastic and garbage, but as long as you know how to navigate the winds, you can get carried to that oasis. And so, like, I've always had this belief as a kid that if you throw whatever you want to have happen to you out there, not into the universe, but just out there into the open, enough in the right way, and you follow the right frequency, you can reach what you want to reach to. A lot of the time, if not most of the time, once you're sifting through that energy to throw it out and latch onto what you're wanting or needing, you're finding more that you realized you didn't know you needed, but needed more than what you thought you did. So you're catching, but that you're throwing out and catching something even further away that you value more. And I find that in my life, I found that if I work as hard as I can, I will hope to reap easy benefits. Think of this as like in high school, busted my ass all the way to junior year, because I wanted my senior year, like so many seniors I had seen, through the
that was me.
Choices program. Did you remember the Choices program?
Oh, I remember it. I forget what it was about and shit.
Let me tell you, because I was the poster child for the Choices program. How did that turn out? Cheers.
Yeah.
Like, it was about basically like choices on how to better your life at a young age if you were making the wrong choices, and how to realize them at an early age. Because I'll tell you, when we were doing this big assembly with another school, and they were going around, like, these kids look like kind of like bad kids, not like, oh, you know, spitting spitballs. They look like, wow, you're like the same age as me, but you look like you're 18. Like, that's a little
You've
weird. We're
gone
all
through
like,
some shit.
yeah. And one girl said, they said, like, what are your activities after school? And this one girl said clubbing. And in my juvenile mind, which might, trying to say this out loud sounds kind of weird, but in my mind, I thought of clubbing sea lions. So I
Clubbing
was like,
seals?
why
Is
would
that
you be clubbing things?
when you said it, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, is he gonna say that he thought this was about clubbing seals? Okay, yeah. That's the naivety of all of us at like younger ages and stuff. But I think that just shows kind of the innocent mindset. You don't really think of certain. I know plenty of people that like. I'll give you one. I have a friend. So you remember in the Matrix 2?
Uh-huh.
Matrix 2, they're meeting, I forget, it's like the foreigner guy and all that. And he's just like
Keymaker?
talking. Yeah, the
Keymaker.
maker or whatnot.
Oh, are you talking about the Merovingian?
Yes.
I
It's
who
like
spoke
he's like the
French?
foreign guy that they're like trying to get
No,
the
de
key.
Dieu, peut-être c'est de la merde. I love
Yeah,
cursing
yeah,
in
yeah.
French. It's like wiping her ass with silk.
Yeah. And he's like talking about this girl and it's like showing her there and it's like and it's clear he's giving her like an orgasm or something like that. My friend, he's like, oh, he made her pee her pants. And me and this other person, we like look at him because this is years later. This is like maybe like 2 or 3 years. This was actually, I think the Super Bowl, the first, oddly enough, this was the first Super Bowl between the 49ers and the Chiefs. This is that
Okay.
how long that it was like around that time, irony in that full circle kind of thing. But it was like during that, and like I guess they had the Matrix on beforehand, and we're just like watching it, and he just says that it's like, nah, man, that's not what he did because later on, his girl calls him out for the lipstick, and because he leaves when she leaves, that there was an implication there, and it's like, but I love the guy because that's it. Like I love hanging out with that guy because he's just so innocent and like he's always just down to have some fun and stuff, and that's the kind of energy. And I say that to say you have a very similar energy in the sense of, look, prior to that, we talked about, generally people can just kind of look down on you and you have a choice. You can let that bring you down or you could just kind of smile at it and just keep going and stuff like that.
Let it rain, or you can let it make you grow.
Yeah. And you've always struck me as the one of like, doesn't matter what anybody says, you're just going to do you. And that's something to keep. So if anybody's wondering, why am I talking to this asshole? Well, that's why. I get to it's my podcast. I get to choose who I want to talk to and all that. And this all happened within 24 hours. So if anybody's ever wondering how I do this, I just do it. I just do this thing. Okay, that's what I do. So
Fast as lightning.
It's a fun times. But I mean, yeah, I don't know if you mind. You did share that you're expecting the first child coming up and all that.
A lot of emotions come into it. Oh, but yeah, that's right. I was saying if I we had been having this conversation when I was like back to when I was trying to get my real estate license, or even like 10 years ago, I'd be shitting bricks. I wouldn't, but because we've been preparing for this for like since probably 2 years ago, we're like, okay, it's about time. We've always had the talks, but we've also had the talks of like kind of felt like we were an idiocracy. We're like, now's not the time. The market's really good right now. So we're like, we don't want to end up like, well, he passed away masturbating.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, now we're gonna start. You set a goal, you meet the goal. That's one of like real estate license. It actually took me less time to get my less time to conceive a child than it was to get my real estate license. And believe you me, conceiving a child, I was trying, believe you me.
You're putting in the work. You're putting in the work.
The passion was there, believe that shit. So, but yeah, it happened, and it's just been where, yeah, hell yeah, I'm afraid, but at the same time, within that fear, I've learned through all the comedy / trauma. It's I've learned to kind of like let that shit just add wood to my fire instead of let ash just kind of simmer and solder and light the chimney on fire.
I think that's important. Like I've definitely, Yeah, we're at that age where like most of the people we know having kids have had kids and stuff like that. And there's, varying degrees, and for some that stress might bring you down. That might, it might hit you a different way and it could bring it. And I've always been someone that's like, nah, man, that's you got to always treat it. I don't have kids. I got a lot of nieces and nephews, I guess you can say. I actually had it yesterday. My friend, he'd been waiting for the longest time. I could tell because he's like, "Hey, say goodbye to Uncle Tom" on the phone. And I was like, "You've been wanting to do that for so long. I know you do. You fucker."
How sweet did that cinnamon taste?
That's it. But that's always the thing. I'm Uncle Tom to a bunch of little white babies, as I joke on stage sometimes, and it's
And the fucking irony. I'm sorry, but the irony.
no, 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 no. I
I
just sit
know it's
there,
not lost
and
you,
it's
but
always funny to look at the white father just kind of like smiling, and it's like, I know what you're thinking. They're cute. They can say that. If you say it, I'm gonna knock the shit out of you. I've had to say that a couple of times, but it's always treat it as a blessing. I'm sure, I have a lot of friends. Like I got my good friend Christine, who I'll probably have on. Probably sure her episode will probably follow yours. But
Nice.
she's she does a lot of things with moms and stuff, and like it's always fun with her just because we met in college for like one semester. We had every class together, and then she like left after that first year. But always had like a good connection, and just like seeing her like develop with the motherhood and stuff like that. And it's like that's kind of the energy you always got to come in. You got to like it's gonna be rough. There will be the rough days, and like I can't speak from personal thing. I can just see from where it is, and it's just like keeping that. And from knowing you the way that I do, I have no doubt that you always have like that positive energy and all that. Sure, there'll be some days you're just like, "Fuck, what is going on?"
So me telling like, yeah, I'll tell you all day, like, bro, like, well, I'll tell you all day, like, yeah, I bring me to the table. Now I do bring all of me, but just like everybody, we're flips of the coin. Which side do we show? So I
Mm-hmm.
always show heads, of course. When I'm at home, that's when I turn tail, where I'm not the extrovert, I'm the introvert. Do you
Mm-hmm.
remember when I was, we all had the senior awards, right? What were you
Yes.
voted at?
I believe. Oh, most outgoing.
You were the most outgoing. You know what I got? The friendliest. Do you know what we both wanted? What every fucking dude in our grade wanted? The biggest flirt.
No, I did not want that.
Oh, then you didn't want it. Never mind. Okay, well then you were
I
special.
campaigned for most outgoing, but the big I know who won that.
But within that, like I was looking through the yearbook, which I think I lost my yearbook probably like 15 years ago, which sucks. But uh, I do remember most of those pictures were not most of the pictures. Most of the pictures of most of the same people because yearbook club.
Yeah.
But how it works. But in a lot of them, I was like, I'm in a lot of these pictures, and it would be like, I remember there was this one specific picture, and it was me, and I had like four people surrounding me, and I was talking with my hands doing some shit. And I was like, yeah, I can definitely see why I got the friendliest because as a senior, I had three classes, three study halls, and three lunches. So
Yeah.
2/3 of the day, I was just fucking chilling. I was running passes. If you got a pass from me, you're going to have a great walk to the assistant principal's office. I lessened the blow for many of people.
I mean, for me, it was the same thing. I only had the first two periods, and then every other day I had a 6 period class because we had the 6 period days
Mhm.
there. So then it was just 3 lunches. So some days I just left after second period. I never got a parking pass. You know what I did actually? So because I did park a couple times down there, but then someone like hit my truck, and I had no idea. They hit it on the other side. So when I got home, my dad's like, "You got something to tell me?" And I was like, "Huh?" And he showed me that, and I was like, I had no fucking clue what happened there.
Man,
But
you got away with parking on the bottom. You are fucking dangerous, dude.
oh, I did that, and then you know what I did? Then, if you remember, by the like elementary school up there, there's that little parking lot right there. So I just parked in there because no one ever fucking cared there. So then I just walk out the front, just walk up there, and then I can just take the back way out instead of having to go through the lights and all that. And then I just come out the back way by I think it was Cook School and
Yeah,
shit, and a
yeah.
little field, and just go home that way.
Well, I mean, so like I busted my ass all trying to get my senior year so I could do that. But we can lead into this. That car accident fucked
Yeah.
my schedule up. Medically wasn't allowed to drive for like, gosh, probably like a year and a half. And it was all through senior year. And I was like, well, I know my dad's gonna be working busy. He's not gonna pick me up and take me anywhere. It's like I'm not gonna ask my fucking stepmom. So I was like, as I'm stuck in fucking school, shit. And Bob was in my grade too. He didn't
Yeah.
drive because he didn't have his license then. So I was like, damn, bro, like you could have fucking helped me out, but whatever.
For years was a little more like front and center because they literally brought your car. I remember to the school to have like a whole fucking talk with. I can't even. That's where it's like impressive. I would like in high school. I'd probably want to fucking die, just crawl. Like just even me with the DWIs and just listening to people talk to me about. It's like like it's some like I fucking lost a limb or something. It's just like I can't imagine the pity show or the like judgment that you would get just because there it is and it's always going to be like front and center and shit like that.
You would think that, but on the flip side, bro, when I finally woke up in the hospital, I thought that nobody would fucking know because I didn't know what the hell happened because I hit my head so many times. Well, I hit it so many times so quickly and so hard in the same few second span that like I would be like a recording tape that would replay every 15 seconds. So like I'd ask my dad when I was finally released, like, "Hey dad, what's for dinner tonight?" He'd be like, "Oh, like hot dogs and beans." Okay, cool. Like 5 minutes would go by and be like, "Dad, what are we having for dinner again?" And he'd be like, "Hot dogs and beans." 10 minutes later, "So dad, what are we having for dinner?" And it'd be like I had to work, like I had to build a lot from that shit. But uh in the hospital, since I kept doing that repeat shit and all my ribs were broken, they had me on tons of morphine. But I was strapped down because when I first woke up, I fucking tried to get up because I was like,
Yeah.
my very first thought, very first thought since I looked around and saw a bunch of shit I didn't recognize. But I saw my overnight bag that had a reflective stripe on it that I would take to other people's houses when I slept over. Like, damn, whose fucking house am I at? No memory of turning left and driving down the road and whatever the fuck happened. But I tried to get up and I was like trying to walk because I was like, I went into fucking panic mode. I was also sky high on morphine. So I'm like trying to walk and get up and like I guess I got tired. I kind of like slumped onto the ground. And next thing I know, I wake up and I'm back on the bed. Everybody's around me and they're trying to fucking like defibrillate me. And I'm like, holy shit, like I'm me. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And they're like, oh my God, he's awake. And I was like so fucking confused. I was so doped up talking to the fucking weatherman on the TV and shit. It took like a lot of repetition for them to tell me like, you're in an accident. Everybody's concerned for you. We're glad you're alive. And I was like, damn, I bet nobody fucking knows what happened because I don't know where I am. Winchester, or not Winchester, Westchester. Yeah. Tell me if this was true because I heard this from people who were coming to the hospital to visit me, which were like super awesome. But they were saying that I was in the morning announcements. Was I?
Yeah, they did mention the accident. It was because I won't say their name because there was another accident where two girls lost their lives and stuff like that. I don't know if that was before.
2+1.
Yeah. Oh yeah. One. Yeah.
A year and 10 days before me. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. A year and 17 days before me.
Yeah. So I think that's what really did because, two major accidents. You were lucky to survive and all that. So it was just kind of that thing that they just like. I guess it was like. We need to address it because kids.
It's gonna be the small talk around school.
Yeah, and it's like we can't just kind of like brush it under. It's like nah, kids are getting hurt and dying. So it became kind of the hot button topic. I just remember though, it's like going out to like the side of like where the lunchroom was. That's where they brought your car in. Like
yeah,
to the
in that side parking lot
on like that hill, just like looking down. It was like oh. That's the car. It was like a cube at that point.
It like if you like because I have a whole CD of pictures that one of our friends took and gave to me where it's like CD-ROM full of pictures, and I was looking at
we just dated ourselves. That's how old we are.
Yeah, damn, I shouldn't have said nothing. Yeah. But looking at those pictures and then of other pictures that were taken on the scene, which I also have, it literally looks like the way it was done was like a giant thumb, index, middle, ring, pinky, just crush that shit. And I have it on my Facebook, and it's always, I mean, I look in the mirror and I kind of see myself and I'm like, damn, like the reason that like I feel kind of dumb today. Well, up until I was about 27, like the reason I feel kind of dumb today was I did some shit that was dumb. Not to sound weird, but like I kind of had to rebuild myself because the therapy that I was supposed to be put in was not the therapy that I needed, because they thought I needed help like eye-hand coordination. It's like, no, if anything, like my body and mind kind of like they are still together, but they're on separate levels of frequency. So like if I'm tired,
More of
I can throw some,
mental. It was the mental kind of therapy of just like trying to get your brain back active, because God knows how many concussions you probably suffered in the course of that. Yeah.
so like they always say like especially in mixed martial arts, like if you get knocked out you feel that for 10 years. Fuck yeah, till I was like 27 I'd wake up feeling like pretty dumb. One day after, like I think I turned 28 and I kind of woke up and like my vision was kind of sharper and I was like this must be it. I must have hit that plateau where it's like no more brain damage. Now if we do something stupid it's on us.
Yeah. I can't blame it on it. I can't blame it on the brain damage anymore. I think somebody referred to you as brain damage. That was like, it's like, oh, you're hanging out with brain damage. I think that was your nickname by some people for a little bit
Yep.
there.
I remember, yeah, it was of the many nicknames that I wield, because everybody has their own translation of who you are, but I always try to be I always try to be the same me to everybody, because I feel like if somebody's fake to me, I see through that shit and I out real them and I fucking tear their facade down. My wife is different because she does not like to be, she's an introvert through and through. She doesn't like to talk to people. So when she talks to people, boom, she shuts on that riot helmet and she's
Protection.
who she wants to be. But like, and she's like, oh yeah, that person's definitely fake. I'm like, well, yeah, of course, because you're doing the same shit to them. Like you're put on the facade, and you can see their riot shields up too. With me, no, I have a completely different conversation with them. Peel that shit away, and now I'm talking with I'm with your core, like because I'm showing you mine, and it's just interesting to see how certain people kind of take that. Because if I feel like with you and me, there's no fucking riot shield because we don't need that shit. We got the pulp. The pulp.
I mean, for me, it's just like I was on and off, definitely with it. But I think for me, it's like I think it's a lot easier when you fall. That's the way I describe it. When you fall and you realize, yeah, it doesn't really matter what anybody thinks. It's like I've already, I fucked up enough at this point. It's like nothing anybody says or feels about me will trump probably my own feelings that I've had to get about myself. So it really doesn't matter. It's like anybody can say or feel the way that they want about me. It's like, yeah, I probably hated myself worse than you hate me right now.
Yeah, is that really all you got? Because my inner monologue would make your toes curl in your sandals. So don't worry.
Yeah, it's always funny, because then like sometimes they'll like try and like bait you into like an argument. And you're just like, okay, it's like, yeah, you piece of shit. It's like, yeah, I can be a piece of shit quite a bit.
In many instances,
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. All right, trust me,
bro. Like it makes me wonder. Like back in the day, even so, leading up to the accident, even afterwards, once I was finally able to like gain my dad's trust back that I could go out on my own and not fucking die.
Yeah,
so I would always tell him like, hey, Dad, like this weekend we're hitting up the movies. Can I have $20? And he'd always fucking throw it to me, never ask questions, because I was, maybe he knew that I obviously fucking wasn't, but he knew that I was like, after that shit, he was like, he is smart enough to know not to fuck this shit up. So fine, I'm paying you because you're smart. My older brother, I love him. He was a great example to see of most of the time what to do. And of the times that I learned the most from him was what not to do. So he would ask my dad for money, and my dad would be like, look, like, no, no. And he always was like, I don't know if he felt animosity or if he was just pissed because I could get it. But I was like, bro, like, I know, like, it's about the body language. Like, I'm telling him, like, you're not gonna get a repeat of what fucking happened. So you can trust me to know better. Like I feel like a lot of people don't go through something that's enough to snap them into reality and
Mm-hmm.
say like, damn, I need to be able to see like third person myself because if if I hadn't gone through that, I would be a totally different person. And I don't think I would like that person,
Yeah.
which is weird because I fucking love myself.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we talked before about, the me talking about the rehab. It's like I think a lot of people look down on that. And I'll always be grateful for it. Am I always going to be sober? No. Like I don't sit here and try and pretend about like that stuff. But like I said to you, I didn't go in with that. Like I got the DWIs, I had to go to rehab, but I went in with a different mentality than a lot of people. And the fact that like I it's not that I don't believe in addiction. I know addiction's real, but I also believe there is a human aspect of you made a choice. Like
Causality.
that first hit or whatever, you kind of made a choice to do that, and it becomes like a kind of 50-50, and you have to kind of like own that. I think like one of the things that I always would probably get in trouble with and get in like arguments is when like someone is like we had to go around in a circle. And it's like I'm just gonna trust my higher power to help me and stuff like that. And I'm just like, so what are you doing for yourself? That would be it. Just that thing of like you have to take accountability for your own actions a lot of times, and if you're shirking those, you're just kind of like excusing it, which I think is also kind of human reaction. Like we don't want to feel bad. We don't want to feel like we're the bad guy. Like I've talked about the idea of like we've watched too many Marvel and DC movies and stuff that we now think that the whole world is just good and evil, so heroes and villains and stuff, and it's not. It's a gray world. It's a gray world. There's much more nuance that you have to realize, but because people don't are so afraid of being that villain, uh, you end up making yourself a villain because you can't open yourself up to see the whole picture. And like that's why I'm okay being, I guess, a villain in a couple of people or many people's stories in a sense. Because if that's what it takes for them to be better off and be happy, fine, cool. It is what it is. I'm not gonna sweat no sweat off my back. It is what it is, and I hope for the best.
The South Park devil said it best. Without evil, there can be no good, so it must be good to be evil sometimes, right? You're going to be a villain in someone's book. So if that ever comes down to it, I must well be the baddest villain that you got. Because if I'm the worst, your life is pretty fucking good because I don't bother shit.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's like, okay. Yeah, and you can't, and even for myself, can't let that bring me down. And I mean, I got so many other things. Like there's so much other bullshit you got to deal with in life and all that. That is like simple misconceptions or disagreements and stuff like that. They drop a water in the sea. It's there's so much more that I got to worry about.
Tears
and people
in the rain.
Yeah.
Right. It's like if it's like, so I was telling you earlier, like I work hard and I work hard and I get easy rewards. But it's not that the rewards are easy or that they come easy, is that my life becomes easy. So like I've like when my wife right now has she has 3 diplomas, and for 2 of them I worked 2 jobs to put her through medical school so she could become an EMT, or not medical school, EMT school, something that I can't fucking do. But I can tell you what, I can chop down a tree really damn well, and I can definitely move kegs really fucking good. So I put her through school. She got her thing. And then okay, well, this isn't enough. I need something else, but I'm going to work for it too. So we worked together. We bounced off each other. We made shit happen. I know you want to talk about the Mr. Monti High thing, because that is definitely a delayed conversation. I have to tell you, bro, watching your videos that you posted, I don't judge you for taking fucking forever to load them, because dude, I am so like, I give you so much respect for not only having those still, but also uploading those now, because like I've been fucking hungover before. I don't have a drinking problem. I like to just celebrate every day that I made it through. And also I'm trying to party as hard as I can before my daughter's born, because once the month before hits, I have to be able to drive to the hospital, so I have to give it up, which is not an issue. But the memories that I have in my brain from that night, which I thought were really fucking precise, are not precise at all. What a cringe fest. I felt really shitty on hangovers. I've never felt so much tension in my neck watching the entirety of the Mr. Monty High pageant. The cringe factor, bro, I'm surprised I didn't paralyze myself with how tight my back became, because I thought we were the fucking coolest shit from American Pie doing that shit. But watching it from afar, I know the crowd was into it, because when you're in the moment, you're in the moment. When you're at a concert, you're in the concert. You're experiencing the ambiance. But if you're watching it from a screen, you're like, this is not a concert. This is just some shit. Bro, I specifically remember in my brain when I started my routine doing the glow-in-the-dark nunchucks, which were technically foam nunchucks that I had to paint a few coats of glow-in-the-dark paint on, because their glow-in-the-dark nunchucks did not exist in this time. Yeah. And I actually had to get a police form to get permission to bring the nunchucks into school, despite them being PVC, rope, and foam, because they're considered a weapon and they're illegal in New York, right? Whatever. I got that shit painted. That shit made it hard as hell to fucking hold. Not only is it just the foam is kind of hard when your hands are sweating, and when I get anxious and I get pumped, my hands dump the ocean out. So I was already like, oh man, I wish the Bible was right and you had hairy hands, because I fucking need that shit. But so I remember when I first walked out, the first couple of swings, and I know I saw it in my head that I dropped it, and I had to play it off like I meant to do that. So I kind of went like, and to pick it up, and I kept doing my thing, and that's when I got into it, and I was kicking ass. But watching it, I couldn't see myself drop it. And I don't know if it was because the lighting that they were expecting me to have the glow in the dark shit, and I just happened to drop it when the light cut out, and I didn't fucking have it, and I thought people could see me, and I grabbed it up, and they got the light back on, and I had it in my hand again. But I was like, damn, like I totally remember dropping that shit. Whatever. They did the glow in the dark shit wasn't working, so they had to fuck with the lights. This is why
it wasn't like it was professionally filmed. I'll give a shout out to Spencer, because I believe it was he who did it. And granted, he didn't give me a DVD. I actually stole it from somebody. That's how I got the whole thing. So it was just like Spencer. A random.
It was Anthony.
Oh.
Yes, and the reason I remember this, we're gonna leave some names out.
Yeah.
Kids, this is why you don't fuck with stage crew. Okay, listen to me. Don't mess with stage crew. There was a contestant in the Mr. Monty High pageant who was flirting with he was flirting with a stage crew member's girlfriend at the time, which might not sound like oh, whatever. In high school, bro, in the 2000s, Limp Bizkit had died out, but like the rage left from him, and it was still like the fucking vibe of like
the Fred Durst energy.
The Fred Durst energy lingered despite it being forgotten. It was still there. We just couldn't put a label to it, but it was there. Woodstock, was it 2001 maybe? Anyway, this guy, it was known too. It was a known thing. This dude went on stage. This dude went on stage to have this whole big show. Stage crew had a systems failure, and this guy's show bombed, son. Bombed. And I was watching that shit after I did my thing and had the whole crowd clap into my Mortal Kombat beat. And I watched this dude try to just fucking play it off, and the failure on his face, the seeping disaster on stage was just, I soaked it up like a sponge, son.
Don't mess with stage crew, because they will ruin your life. I only have one conflict with stage crew, and it was with a girl there, because I think everyone already crowned David as the king or something. I was like, okay, cool, I'll show you. I got something. And then at the end, she was like, yeah, you should have won. I was like, yeah, that's right, bitch. I got you.
I do. Like, listen, Dave did great.
Dave was awesome. I called it was going to be Dave and me.
literally sat there. I know what's going to happen here, David, because it always happens with you and me. Whenever we've done things most of these people don't know. They don't know about Chase Elementary School. They don't know about our history of doing acting classes together or anything like that because you've been more prominent. I've just been quietly doing my thing on the side. I don't do the after school activities. I didn't do that. But freshman year, I went to a Mr. Monti High show for my boy Anthony. And after, I was like, all right, I got about 4 years. I know what I'm gonna do. I've been prepped. I'm ready to go. But it was a fun time. But I'm gonna take that to do a little break. We'll get a little more into that, into the little Mr. Monti High. And then of course I have my little fun questionnaire. For some of my guests, I like to give like a little fun questionnaire things, this or that. So we'll get into that right after this quick break.
And the club will either make you or break you. Like working in that kind of industry, those hours, we're surrounded by illegal substances all the time, and either you'll fall into it or you'll avoid it. The drama, Jesus Christ, the drama that goes on behind the scenes that you don't like. There's something to get into it with a customer. There's another thing to get into it with another girl.
Yeah.
I've been working at the club 8, almost 9 months now. So I'm still considered like a baby stripper. And I've seen probably 4 major fights break out amongst the girls to the point where like guns got pulled out and like things like serious shit goes on. And like, it's things that a lot of people don't see because when we're on the floor, we're feminine and girly and beautiful and bimbos. we're not pretending. Well, we are pretending.
I would never say bimbos.
We definitely act like. You should see me among my customers. If I have a customer that's of a higher intelligence, I'm knocking myself down a peg because they're surrounded by other really smart women all of the time. They're not looking for another really smart woman in their life. They're looking for somebody who's like, oh my God, I have titties and I'm so pretty and take my money. I want all of your money. Give it all to me. Like that's how I am.
Oh man.
Yeah. It's
Raise Up Smash Therapy is nestled nicely in its space in the Bronx, New York, and highlights that sometimes the best things are the simplest. In the waiting room, you'll get the chance to hang out and suit up in some protective gear before you enter your quote-unquote therapy session. Whether it's a bat, golf club, or whatever the staff may have lined up for you for that day, don't be afraid to let loose and go a little crazy on all that breakable stuff that will be nicely lined up for you for your therapy session. And much like the establishment itself, Raise Up has 2 smash rooms with their own unique aesthetic, highlighted by the graffiti art and albums scattered throughout that show Raise Up's ties with the city it was raised in.
finally, I know y'all been waiting. Man. I've been waiting to make this announcement. But yo, finally I can announce it. Thank you, God. Anyway, let's get to the point. February 17th, man, is going down. Woodbridge, Connecticut, February 17th. Yo, it's going down. 10 Selden Street. Let's go at 10 Selden. That is the actual venue name. That's right. It might be a little confusing, but at 10 Selden Street, Woodbridge, Connecticut, February 17th is going down, son. Yo, I'm gonna be there. Rough Rider's gonna be there. Yo, KO Rockwell Productions gonna be cooking. Yo, Dawn 2 Real Inc. Yo, you already know. Rebirth Nation in the building. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Peacemakers. Peacemakers gonna be in the building. Yo, it's gonna be a lit night. Yo, Big Man Entertainment LLC. Yo, they gonna be in the building cooking. Yo, there's gonna be some heavy hitters in the house. Can't even make an announcement on the freaking entertainments that's gonna come through. There's gonna be so many announcements. There's gonna be vendors there. If we could get everybody there, it's gonna be dope. Yo, we're gonna have transportation. There's gonna be a transportation announcement. I don't know if you can see the picture. Early. Yo, that's crazy, right? Yeah, man, we're gonna have transportation. Yo, for all you artists, yo, if you in the city, you want to make that, yo, we got transportation for you. So, yo, check this out. Read all the information. Do your due diligence. Hit me up if you interested. And, yo, let's get it early, son. Let's go. Share this with everybody. Y'all already know what the hell time it is. February 17th, 10 Selden Street. Woodbridge, Connecticut. Let's fucking be there, all right? Stay ready, stay early, stay woke. We coming for next. Early. Cause out.
And we're back, folks. Hope you enjoyed those brief commercial breaks and all that. You know, of course, shout out to everybody who has already agreed to be on the pod. And, I don't know if I have my sponsorships yet in those, but if they are, hey, definitely check those out. I don't want to give away. This is, I'm letting you guys see how the sausage is made. I am, of course, pre-recording these before I have a bunch of fucking meetings that I got to take care of in 2 weeks. So that'll be fun times. As I explained to Chris, probably by the time this is out, I've already done it. I am going to go watch a Sasquatch play a saxophone at a rave. So it's going to be a wild time for me. That's going to be my first After Hours with Tommy Tom video that I'll be working on. So that will be a process and all that. But, before I went to break, we were talking about the Mr. Monti High thing. And you brought up, your performance and all that. Now, I remember a lot from in high school. You were, the Karate Kid. The Karate Kid.
Bro, so I saw my in my senior year of English, I had 2 English teachers because we had the first period, which was like an hour and a half on A days. And one of the best English classes I've ever had. Shout out to Mr. W, Mr. D. I saw this guy years later. I don't even know where, somewhere in New York, like upstate New York, totally random. And I was like, holy shit. Like, dude, you were my English teacher. And he was like, oh yeah, you're Chris. You were the ninja. Like, like, got me, bro. Yeah, pretty much. Because, everybody was the same from junior year to, I'm sorry, from freshman year to the beginning of junior. We all had baggy fucking jeans, baggy sweatshirts. We're all body conscious of ourselves. We're all hiding ourselves as much as we can. We could have put on garbage bags. We'd all look the same. But junior year is when, like, we kind of started to, like, come into our own and be like, it, like, doesn't really matter.
Senior year is when I finally started actually wearing color. Like, I was probably just black most of the time. Fucking, I was emo before there was such a fucking thing. It's essentially
you brought the wave almost. I feel of all the things that I know from, even like I always feel when you come into something late, you're coming to like the 5th season of the new show, or whatever, or the old show. But like all the stories I had heard of you, just like by the time I was halfway through 7th grade, we hadn't even talked that much. But I still felt like when we did talk midway through 7th grade, that I fucking knew you like I knew my friends at the time when I sat at the lunch table with.
I'll give you this, because I believe I met your brother first in chess club.
Yep.
And that's right, folks. Tommy Tom was in chess club in middle school. Yeah, it was like the senior year was like the coming out because I think that was when I got the book published, and I was just like, yeah, fuck this. I'm gonna go out, and like that's where I had like the 3 lunches. I would sit on the side for a couple of lunches, whereas like I didn't even sit at a table. They had like that little folding chair. I just kind of like chill, sit there, and just be like, all right, whatever.
I do. And do you remember my thing? Whenever I came around to either you or tables, what I would do?
No,
bro, my brother makes fun of me about this shit all the time. He goes, you go like this.
Oh, jeez.
Like, bro, like, would you fucking stop? And one of those times when I had so many lunch periods, it kind of backfired on me. Because one of the times, my brother was having a fight with his girlfriend at the time, and I came down, like oblivious to the situation because I was making my rounds. Came and sat down. It was me, my brother, and then his girlfriend. And his girlfriend fucking threw milk at him, and he dodged because he saw it coming. And I turned and I got a face full of chocolate milk, and everybody was like, "Oh, the whole high school." Oh,
yeah,
shit.
yeah, the high school.
And I stood up, and of course, it's a girl. I'm not gonna. It was the 2006. I'm not gonna swing. And so I like high school movie, like that sucked balls.
That was just a joke. But it's like I said, you were you started. You were the Karate Kid and all that. Is like looking at the video. It's always you were talking about the cringe thing and all that. I just like look at it. I remember like people asking about it. And I remember that got like a lot of responses and stuff like because it was like it's a moment in time and all that.
Yes.
And like
So
I've said, I've said to myself, I guess that like. Yeah, those things. Like if you could go back in time, like and restart. I was like, you know what? Probably the end of the Mr. Money High. I wouldn't want to go through it, but at the end, just go right to the end of there, and it's like that's a good starting point for me if I had to restart.
I'll tell you, bro, of all the things that I feel like I should remember from the Mr. Money High thing, I remember more from the after party with you, dude. That's probably I had my regular hangout spot that I'd go like every weekend. We get tore up and we'd be piles of wreckage afterwards. That was fucking great. But that night, like partying at Jen's, dude, like from the fucking movie that we watched, the Death Race 3000, the original, I had hair that was like my fucking parents didn't let me keep my hair long. So if they let me, I would have let my hair grow out like as long
You had
as
the mo cut. You had the classic mo cut, as I like to refer to them.
And I would like one of my habits back in the day was when I would get like I'd plateau and I'd hit that next Super Saiyan level of being on that high, and I would run my hands through my hair and I'd like massage my head, but in doing so, my hands would be hot and they'd make my hair stick out. So you came in after being in the van. I looked at you and you're like, "Whoa, look at this dude's hair!" I looked like I was like Bart from Home Alone touching the electric shit.
It's like you're following. I was like, you're definitely following what that shot glass went, and it's just all of us like in Jen's room, like just sleeping there. I slept in a chair with a girl in my like just like holding her like that. It was just like, ugh. And they're like, you could have just like crawled in. It's like, it's what it is.
Woke up, I was like, how many limbs are probably gonna take like an hour to wake up after that shit? But still.
Yeah, and then busing everybody back to their places after that. And then I think after I dropped everybody off, me and Seb, then we just drove to Middletown to Denny's to eat breakfast. No, why we drove all the way. Which is like the opposite direction because I had to drop, I think, the last one off towards like Liberty or like the Woodridge area. Shit. So then we're like, yeah, I don't want to go home yet. You? No. All right, we're just go to Middletown. Me driving around in my parents' Astro van. That's right, kids. You don't know the struggle until you had to drive the parents' Astro van, minivan, or something. That was your ride. And you know what?
At night, that shit was busting. But in the daytime, it was probably like, bro, like.
You ain't gonna look cool in it, but like at night, shit, you're a necessity.
Fuck yeah!
Everyone's violent. Let's just go.
I was mentioning causality before. Action, reaction, cause, effect. The night happens. That fucking car that has a cause now is like the bomb diggity. But afterward, when everybody's out of it, you're just no. But no, it's still like during the Mr. Monty High pageant, I remember when I had to get dressed out of my Aikido gi into a tuxedo, which was hot as fuck. because I was already sweating balls from dancing around on stage all the time. And I felt like when they asked me the question, they asked me, what celebrity, if you could meet dead or alive, would you meet? And I had this whole shit planned out to say like Bruce Lee, so that way you would know that I wasn't hitting myself in the face the whole time and I wouldn't wake up tomorrow with bruises all over my body. But all that shit that came out, like the brain surged all this information to the mouth and from the car accident, because I had this sensation when I'm trying to do something and I feel like my brain's like, I know it's gonna like lapse and I'm gonna not be able to follow through what I know I need to do. And it's like just a weird sensation that I've honed to. And in my brain said this big paragraph and my mouth said Bruce Lee, and that is all. And I stopped and I was like, fuck, like
No, look, the questionnaire, I think that fucked me up too. Like, I think the only one that looked good in that questionnaire was probably David. Because I think they asked me, it's like, so tell us about the book. And I was just like, I can't make anything fun with this. So I think my response was like, you should buy it.
That was fucking hilarious though. But
it was just like, oh, I can't really do much with this. I can't do much with this. And like, once again, for reiteration, you can co-sign this. No, folks, anybody that thought that the ending of Mr. Monty High was planned, it was not. There was no discussion of a fucking tie. I almost shit myself when they said we were gonna have a dance off. I was like, you're gonna have me have a dance off with a guy that just danced this dance from Dirty Dancing as his fucking talent.
Yeah, like you might as well put me up against an army of Napoleon Dynamites, because like that, like I don't know how long he put into that, but him and Christine, they fucking, bro, that shit was some TV quality stuff.
Oh, it's hilarious.
But
I was like,
I feel like the reason that the judges picked him was because you did that front flip off the stage, and they deemed that as a safety thing. Because if they had seen that shit as not a safety thing, bro, like in my like whole, like I was so high that day off of just like like the crowd clapping with the Mortal Kombat beat and shit just going nuts all throughout the whole thing, and like my adrenaline was surging and I was probably exhausted because my own little body couldn't fucking handle it. But watching you do that shit, I felt better than when I was on stage whipping those shits around, because I was like, that was so unexpected but baller, bro. Like, and you fucking nailed it. You nailed it.
The thing, I had been doing that prior, like in technology class. I think we went there and I was like, I think I can do a front flip off this. And so it wasn't any risk. I had done that. I had a little over rotated, so I kind of did like one of these landings, and then it looked like for some people they thought I had fell, but then I was hey.
It was a 9.2 on the landing, but a full fucking 10 on the flip. Like that, it was awesome.
Well, because all right, first off, if they were gonna dock me that, he should have been docked for dancing on Mrs. Trombley's fucking piano, which was like, we were told don't touch the piano. We were told not to do it. He did. He broke those rules. So to that. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, well, fuck. I gotta do something to get the attention back on me. And I was like, well, I got this one.
All or nothing.
Let's go for it.
And Tom, of the few times that we have partied together, I always will, like, it's seared in my brain. I don't remember whose house it was. Like, this is fucking years later. Somebody's house that it was you, Keenan, me, it was Mark, and then some other people who you guys knew, but I was like, they told me their names, and that shit was like, phew. But we were playing beer pong the whole night. Seb was there too, probably. Fucking, and we had so much fun that night. And you were like, damn, like, I didn't know you guys were like this shit, because like we never partied together like that. It'd been years before, but like regardless, like of the few times that we've had, and then of course later at their place in the fuck is that shit?
Bumblefuck Nowhere, New York.
Yeah. Oh, this was gonna be this was gonna be Yasgur Farms. No, bro, this was not gonna be Woodstock. This shit would not survive.
No. No, man, it was fun times. Yeah, you look at the youth. Yeah, you get your mistakes, you have your fun, you get through it. It's always good times.
Now, these points we have to be very careful with what we intake, because believe you me, I I don't know how many see me drink of these. Back in the day, I did not drink this at all, and I wake up, why am I so hungover? Like, bro, it's the simple little spikes that keep us moving and flowing.
I've learned my ways and all that. Like I'll tell you what, I'll never drink Captain again. That I ruined in college just because for one night I drank an entire handle to myself. Not like I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this. It was like kind of by accident because I got some food from like the food court at my college, and I went back and I was like, all right, I'm gonna pregame a little. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna load up these videos of the greatest insults from The Rock in WWE, WWF at the time. And I just watched YouTube videos and I was just filling my drink. And by the time I realized it, it was like like 3/4 of that thing was gone. I was like grooving. I'll probably even post the end picture of me. I think we were playing 64. At one point, I got up and I kind of fell into the dresser, and I'm just there with like a wife beater, it's half on, half off, and I'm just a mess. And then there's another picture of my freshman year roommate and then my sophomore year roommate at the end, and it's me. It's the last picture I took, and it's me in my bed, and they're at the end, just like, hey, I just took a picture of that. Then there's just me in the morning sitting by like my window of my room, just like, what did I do to my fucking self? And so now I couldn't do rum after that. It was like an instant like gag reflex and all that. So I'm just a strictly tequila man. That is that's it. And then everyone thinks I'm crazy for that. They're like, what, tequila? I can't drink tequila. It's like you just don't know how to handle it, my man. I don't know.
Yeah, precisely.
You don't respect the tequila don't respect you. That's
absolutely
that would be the response. That would be the response to it.
If you don't know tequila, run from the grub.
Yeah, that's it. But Chris, of course, for some of these, I'd like to end with like a little fun questionnaire, this or that, all that, kind of get like a little gauge here. So, hold up, I have to get the stupid glasses on. All right, there we go. All right, now I'm
dude,
set.
I'll tell you, I have to wear contact lenses that are made of the same material that airplane windows are made out of, because I have a genetic disorder that makes my eyes not circular, but kind of cone out. Keratoconus fucks up my vision. On paper, I'm legally blind, but I have these contacts in that give me near perfect vision. The next step up is either X-ray or microscopic. But without them shits, dude, I'm afraid to drive. I don't do shit. I'm an introvert because I can't see what I'm doing.
Well, I'm gonna break the sausage. These don't even have lenses. These are just open things. I just wear them to look like a dickhead. So while I do this, this is just my asshole thing. I'm just like, okay, let's get into it.
Thanks for making me disclose my medical condition.
Yeah, we'll figure out just to do that. So we are born in the 80s, raised in the 90s. That's how I like to describe our generation and all that. So we have that mentality. So as a kid, it came down to two major choices: Pizza Hut or Domino's.
I wish I could tell you, but I didn't get to eat that kind of stuff. I had Old Chicago. I had it was either Old Chicago or Little Caesars, because Colorado was a different monster. But the best pizza did come from the Little Bear, which was famous in my town of Evergreen, Colorado, because at night, especially on Friday and Saturday nights, they give free drinks to ladies who threw their bras up into the rafters. And they had many bras on the rafters. And my dad took us to eat there once, and we asked the waiter the history. He told us, and my dad was like, probably shouldn't have asked him about that with you guys here. So we're not coming here again, but we'll order out their pizza.
Well, wait, you guys got to be a little older next time.
Yeah.
All right, now.
It was the 90s,
Now we talked on like the superhero things. There's the classic thing: Batman or Superman.
Dude, you got to go with Batman. There's no power like being rich. Yes, Superman can live forever. He's invincible, blah, blah. But really, that makes shit kind of boring. But if you're super smart and you can have another life as a fucking baller-ass billionaire, dude, I'd rather live a short, happy one than a long, extinguishing, traumatic existence. Burn bright rather than simmer out, right?
Exactly. Now this one's personal to my heart. Backstreet Boys or NSYNC?
Damn, I don't know. I want to say Christina Aguilera, because back in the day in Colorado, the boys had Christina Aguilera or Britney Spears, and the girls had NSYNC and Backstreet Boys. And in that time, boys against girls, our opinion mattered more to each other, but it mattered more over theirs and vice versa. So the girls would make their decision, we'd make our decision, and our collective would meet in the recess, in the fucking recess area, and we'd throw our debates back and forth, and we'd end up throwing soccer balls at each other. Or if there were boys on the girls' side or vice versa, girls on our side, we would cross our arms and run into each other like fucking battering rams until we gave up.
Oh, joy.
Well, yeah, it would be stocks, probably.
Fox, look at you, the
Yeah.
mature. Look at you growing up and all that.
But you know, I'm still a little tadpole in a giant ocean. It should be, my answer should be real estate because, you know, as the churning of the country goes, everybody moves in a certain direction. Should be buying stuff up in Minnesota, but I'm not, you know, it's cheap now, but it'll be expensive later.
All right, you know, I'm sure I know your answer, but you know, Chuck Norris versus Bruce Lee.
Well, yeah, you know, they also, well, you know, they also did a movie where they actually, you know, they fought.
Yeah.
It's hard to say though because Chuck Norris is older, and if you took what he knows now against a Bruce Lee, should Bruce Lee be older, it'd still be difficult to tell. Still think Bruce Lee would take it though. He's the father of MMA for the most part.
I don't know that. Look, he may have won in the movie, but that chest hair was. He's got that man.
Dude. This is why you gotta stay aerodynamic for fighting.
Nonsense. It's the intimidation factor. Chuck Norris. That, and I just love that now Chuck Norris is in on the joke. He's like, yeah, it was excruciating. He even like he's just saying, yeah, snake bit me. It was excruciating. But eventually the snake died.
Yeah.
He just does this thing now. And I'm just like, oh man.
I have to ask you, what's your favorite Chuck Norris joke? Because everybody has their favorite, and if they don't, they haven't done their research.
Oh, shoot. Actually, it might be that snake bite or something because of just how it is. It's like we've traveled. It's excruciating because it goes longer. I didn't give like the full extent, but honestly, my favorite moment was like the beginning of it. I feel was, if you remember, it was that truck. It's like the trucks, and they had like the animated Chuck Norris just doing the split,
Doing the fucking splits, holding them together.
That was how it like began. Like after that, that's when all the Chuck Norris memes came. And I forgot what he said in Expendables 2. That would probably be one of my favorite. I forgot exactly what he said. I'd have to look that up, and I don't feel like doing that right now. But
I'm definitely going to Google that later then, because I need to know. I'll tell you my favorite one. Chuck Norris can watch 60 Minutes in 20.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. See, and it's just that power alone. I'm just like, I don't know, man. It's Chuck. It's Chuck. Chuck does. And I used to love Chuck Norris movies back in the day. Like
who does it? Bro, The Hero and the Beast.
It's like the SEAL one. Because you know what it was to Chuck? He was the action star that wasn't roided out of his fucking minds. That is like just muscle on muscle. It's just, no, this guy's just gonna kick your ass.
Muscle
no, movie? If for a movie, now I got sidekicks.
Okay. All right.
Remember that. It's the kid who has Chuck Norris is his imaginary friend, and he keeps on envisioning him in these different scenarios and all that. And then at the end, he actually gets to meet Chuck, and it's just the most ridiculous, like, Karate Kid parody movie that you could ever watch. Like, it's pretty much the Karate Kid. Just insert Chuck Norris and
imaginary Chuck Norris
and like a B-rated fucking Mr. Miyagi. Like that's it.
All right, I'm gonna have to add that shit because that's a good one sounding.
It is a joy. I think I saw it for free on YouTube one day, and I was like, I am so tempted to just watch. I just start skipping through, just see certain scenes and stuff like that. All right, I got another one for you, of course. Now, you are expecting Faja, and all that. Faja, what are you doing to prep yourself for those teenage years, whether boy or girl?
Oh, dude. So here's the thing. I'm like, if I'm put like, I read a shit ton of Greek mythology when I was a kid. So when I got in trouble for unfortunately accidentally assisting in burning down a building, which nobody was in. Luckily, no one got hurt. People got a new building. It was all great for them. I had to tell my probation officer as my hobby, I read Greek mythology. He was like, really? You're getting in trouble? Like what? Anyway, I always think back to Heracles, or Hercules, as most know, who, since he was such a special son of Zeus, he was given a choice before birth. Do you want an easy, carefree life, or do you want a hard, tough life? And he chose the hard and tough life because he's fucking strong as fuck. So of course he's gonna choose that. But I always think to myself, like, if I am given a choice, do you want the hard easy, or do you want the easy hard? I kind of want it to be like, I want it to be difficult first, then I have the easy stuff to look forward to and relax into, like retirement, which we're never going to see maybe, but whatever.
Our generation.
So I was always thinking to myself, like, I don't care as long as I have a kid that's happy and healthy, which is everybody's shit. But once you're thinking into it long enough, you're like, yeah, I just want a healthy kid. But I was like, but I would be damn happy if I could get a boy, so I can use that knowledge that my dad used on me and my older brother as we were kids to turn us into the men we are today on my son, and help to hopefully navigate his crazy little ass, knowing me as a kid and my brother, we were fucking psychos, like navigate him through life. And then when he's a man, it'll be easy from then on. Because I know from what I've learned through my wife's family and through her is that when she was a little girl, she was pleasant as fucking pie, super easy to get along with. Everything was great. She hit her teen years, and it was like she was covered in steak that were just gonna shoot out everywhere. And like her mom, like her mom loves her, but her mom is like, when she was a teenager, she was difficult. And like I was like, damn, I definitely like I want to have it difficult, easy, son. I have a daughter now, so all the schematics I had for teaching my son are just minimally kind of changed. So it's gonna be, I'm gonna have a daughter, so I have to help her. I have to be an example, but there's some stuff I just can't teach her. I can't teach her how to be a lady. I don't know how to be a lady because I know how to be a rough and tumble boy. But I also kind of helped raise my youngest sister, so I have some knowledge about that. But the plans are going to be minutely changed. When she's 4 or 5, I'm still gonna have a big ass baller medieval like party where they're gonna either dress up as knights or princesses, and they're gonna be fucking. It's gonna be Renaissance festival, and at the end, I'm gonna put a big inflatable dragon suit on and come, and they have to fucking slay me with Minecraft swords and shit. It's that kind of shit. Like I laid it all out in my brain every day. I'm always planning, like, I have to be the good example. I have to make sure that she's having fun. Because if she can't laugh as a kid, she sure as shit not gonna laugh as an adult. And I know laughter is a real big essential part of being an adult. Because if you can't laugh at shit, your life has gotta suck. So I laugh at all my misfortunes and my fortune too. So if she's gotta laugh, she's gotta do it right. But every day, I mean, we built a 4th bedroom in our home because we have to just grow, but we don't want to move from our house because we love our house. But every day, I'm just always trying to hone every thought I have into how I'm going to make her life as good or better than mine. And my childhood was still pretty cool because I had a lot of family around, but she actually has even more family around. So it's building blocks into a nice big ass Lego piece that no one's going to really hopefully help to knock over.
Whereas, bonus question, actually. What was more stressful, the engagement or the wedding?
None of it. Dude, especially at my wedding, I had people ask me beforehand, like, are you nervous? Are you nervous about getting married? And I was like, no, dude, at that point, we've been together for I think 2010, we've been together for 9 years. So I was like, bro, like if I've been with her for 9 years and she's put up with me this long, like it's fucking meant to happen. And my brother, as his best man speech, was like, y'all already knew, like it was about time this happened. It was just due to happen, just win. But no, like, bro, like that's my mindset after my head cleared up after I was 27. Like, bro, it was just like things are only as difficult as you make them. And yeah, shit gets tough, real fucking tough. Nobody wants to go down a slide made of sandpaper, but sometimes you have to. You just have to make sure that you got the denim down as you go down, so at least you don't take that much chuff, right?
Yeah.
If there's any kind of challenge that I get hit with, biggest one was real estate. Dude, I spent $3,600 minimum on just the schooling and the testing, mostly the testing, because I took a bunch of swings at it. It was hard as shit. but I dominated it. And when I did, it's just you have to hit different plateaus and keep striving for more. Gokuism, son. It's so nerdy, but it's so true. You just knock down, you get bit up stronger. You got to keep fighting for it. So this is just having my daughter is the next way for me to go above and beyond. Because if we weren't trying to have a kid, I would be like Bill Burr back before he had kids, where it's like, I don't want to add to the population problem. I'm doing fine as is. We're gonna coast. But then that's when you know you've hit a plateau and you have to hit the next level. So what's the next level? All American way, have a kid. So it's just, it's all about growth to me. I'm a coconut that just doesn't stop shedding and getting milky.
Yeah, man. Well, Chris, thank you once again for doing this, reaching out on YouTube and, people call me out, and I'm always down to do shit like this. So, I hope you had fun coming on here, talking with me, chatting, reminiscing, going down memory lane and whatnot.
Absolutely, bro. I mean, though the memories may be fuzzy, we still got them, and that's how we keep them alive in their all fuzzy greatness.
Yeah, that's it. I don't know if you have anything you'd want to promote or anything like that.
Honestly, if you're in the Indianapolis area or in the North Carolina region, preferably Wake Forest, Cary, Raleigh, Durham, Dogs and Digs LLC. If you're going on vacation, you want your pets to be watched. You've got Kiwi you have Kiwi reigning over Wake Forest. That's my I'm Chris formally, Kiwi normally. It's a thing I picked up at the Renaissance Festival. Indianapolis, we do dog stuff, but aside from that, yeah, man, bro, Tom, it's always good to talk to you, son. It's just of the few people that I can go a long time without speaking with, and then we pick up either on the same note or on a better note. I always feel like we're picking up on a better note because you and I evolved in a similar way where the open chest can contain more items, and my chest is always open. My book is always writing. My paper's endless because we can't grow without writing more. So,
yeah. Well, like I said, I appreciate you for doing this. And of course, folks, if you're watching this, hey, thank you for watching this video. Please hit that like and subscribe. Always appreciated. You can also check out depending on where you're watching this, on YouTube or on Spotify, as we are now on video on Spotify as well. And of course, you can follow me at the Tommy Tom P on Twitter. It'll always be Twitter for me. And, once again, Chris, thank you for doing this, and we'll catch you all next time. Peace.